Let's look at Unit 1 in the very first course so that you get an idea of what you will find. On the first page, you'll find the unit's number and title, followed by a brief summary of its focus. A brief introduction to the unit is followed by the journal exercise. As the introduction to the first course explains, keeping a journal is a very important part of the study process throughout the higher certificates. Many of the issues you are asked to reflect on can get quite personal, but they always relate to the focus of that unit. So please make sure that you do all the exercises carefully and prayerfully. Besides, some of the assignment questions will refer you back to what you have written, so it's important not to skip these exercises. Next, you'll get stuck into the meat of the unit. This often asks you to read and reflect on some relevant Bible passages that are clearly set apart in a text box. Then you'll read through the study material. Every now and then, you'll be asked to read or reread biblical texts and to do an exercise based on that reading or to carry out a related activity. Here, for example, you are asked to compare the stories of Jesus calling his first disciples in the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, and Luke, and to record your findings in a notebook. By the way, your notebook is not the same as your journal. The journal is for personal reflection. It's a record of your spiritual journey of learning. Your notebook is for doing exercises, writing down key points from the unit, recording the results of any activities you do, and so on. Speaking of activities, most of the units have text boxes at strategic places in the material, prompting you to do something. This one, called Take a Moment, asks you to review what you have just studied and to keep notes in your notebook about it. In much the same way, most of the units have exercises such as, let's think about this, a closer look at the text, and something to do. At the end of each unit, you'll find the special reading. This is usually an excerpt from a book or article, or a specially written reflection, or sometimes a passage or book from the Bible that relates in some way to the focus of that unit. Often, you'll be asked to work through the special reading and keep notes on it as one of the activities. Sometimes it is there just to get you thinking more deeply about the topic. In Unit 1 of this course, for example, we have included a story about two rabbis in the time of Jesus. It raises the question, what kind of teacher was Jesus? Each unit ends with a list of references, that is, the resources that have been used in writing the unit, and a short section headed, if you'd like to explore further, with suggestions for learning more about the focus of the unit. Occasionally, a unit will also have an extra feature, like this diagram of the relationship between the first three Gospels, which is discussed in Unit 1. Just one more feature of all our workbooks is worth mentioning. We have included a number of rest areas in them. There are two in the first workbook, after Units 4 and 8, and one in the second, after Unit 12. Each time these rest areas ask you to do two things. First, we ask you to review the section of the journey that you've just been on. This involves drawing a journey map, which is fully explained in Unit 1 of the first course. It's important that you do this exercise each time, as you're asked to collect the journey maps together at the end of each course, usually in Unit 16, and to reflect on them. Second, we invite you to take a break from your studies and do something relaxing or different. Watch a film, spend time with family, play a game of soccer, go for a long walk, or whatever it takes to help you unwind. So that's what you can expect to find when you open your workbooks and begin to study. As you do so, we hope that you will find plenty of opportunities to learn, to reflect, to deepen your faith, in short, to find your head, heart, and hands being blessed for ministry.